Askreddit asks, what is the scariest, most terrifying thing that actually exists?
Alzheimer's. Your memory, personality and everything that makes you slowly slips away.
It's a bad way to go. In college I worked as an aide for a man who had it. He was a genius. Worked for NASA. Discovered stars. Sad to see.
Prions. They're basically screwed up proteins that make other proteins get screwed up the same way. Like some sort of molecular zombie. Once you have a prion disease, it will slowly destroy your brain by messing up proteins that are vital for life. Once you have it, there's no cure and no treatment. You're just done for, and it can incubate for years. You can have it right now and not know. And as a fun little bonus, disinfectants and other methods of killing viruses, parasites and bacteria will do nothing for a prion. Fatal familial insomnia is possibly the freakiest prion disease. You just can't sleep. You get progressively worse insomnia until you can't sleep at all anymore, which causes delirium, hallucinations, and eventually death. Imagine just knowing your mind is slowly slipping away, all because your body won't sleep. That is a prion disease.
This plant. URL redacted. Wiki. Dendrosnide_moroidosal. Dr. Horses that touch it run off cliffs to stop the pain.
The fact that you can be paralyzed and unable to move any part of the body while your mind remains completely intact. URL redacted. Ugh. Horrifying.
Darkness imprisoning me, all that I see absolute horror. Whatever it is, it lives in the ocean. Deep in the ocean.
As my brother-in-law says, the ocean is where God puts his nightmares.
Thinglu Mglwanaf Cthulhu Relaya Ganagal Fatagan.
I forget the name of it, but there is this squid that looks like something out of Alien. It has this tiny, grey body but incredibly freakishly long tentacles.
Anesthesia awareness. You go into the hospital for surgery and you are paralyzed and awake during the entire procedure. Unable to scream, move, or indicate in any way that you are locked in.
As someone who is having surgery tomorrow. Thanks for that.
My mother has this, some kind of thing in her brain, or missing in her brain, where she can't be put under. She's had surgeries before. The anesthesia just doesn't work on her.
Also, at least with Alzheimer's, the patient usually doesn't really know what's going on. With ALS, the patient has minimal mental impairment and is trapped in a non-functioning body. My cousin's wife suffered from and passed due to ALS. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
A man we go to church with was diagnosed with ALS maybe 2 years ago, and it's tough watching him regress. He was a marathon runner and now can hardly walk with a cane. He had to quit his job and go through a lot of physical therapy, I believe.
People that kill without a conscience or reason. You could be in the wrong place at the wrong time, or even just asleep in your home, and someone could pick you for no reason at all other than opportunity.
Pretty sure there was a post on our Morbid Reality last week about someone who hired a hitman to kill a woman so she could date her boyfriend. But the hitman got the wrong person, and then killed her anyway. Imagine literally dying, because some loony wants to date someone else's boyfriend. God, I would haunt the shit out of those fuckers.
Why are you doing this to us? Exclamation mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark. Question mark. Because you were home.
Brain-eating amoebas.
Yup. We would do a lot of case studies in my parasitology course. And Naegleria fowleri was by far the worst to read about. It was the same terrible story over and over. Healthy individual in early 20s is out enjoying life, and goes wakeboarding, jet skiing, cliff diving etc. in warm fresh water. A little water gets up their nose. But other than that, they're fine. The next day they get a bad headache. They notice their sense of smell fade away completely. Then they slip into a coma and are dead before the week is out. It's absolutely the stuff of nightmares.
The supervolcano in Yellowstone, Wyoming that if it explodes, would make 1/3 of North America instantly uninhabitable and we would have to evacuate the rest. It would also create a volcanic winter for the whole planet for a couple of years.
Cordyceps lethal mind control fungus. It only infects ants, as far as we know, but it's straight out of a horror movie. Infected ants compulsively climb as high as they can and then clamp their jaws down. Then a stalk grows out the top of their head and releases spores that infect more ants. The Last of Us infection is based on it. Edit. Correction. It affects lots of types of insects. I only remembered the ants initially.
Large rocks minding their own business in space that might run into our planet and end everything someday.
What if we are the rock running into them?
I would say cancer. Or the fact that anyone at any point could just drop dead from a brain aneurysm.
Brain aneurysms are nuts. My mom got in a tiny fender bender a few years ago. The police weren't even called because the fault was mutual and the damages weren't serious. My mom called to check on the lady a few days later. Her husband answered and told my mom that she died the day after from a brain aneurysm. I can't remember whether the aneurysm was caused by the accident or if it was already there and the accident caused it to rupture. Either way, terrifying shit.
And crocodiles.
Hippopotamus. They can weigh about 2 tons and achieve speeds of 20 miles per hour on land. Their bite can easily kill and they are extremely territorial. More deaths occur per year by hippos than lions, wolves, elephants, and sharks combined.
The hungry ones are the worst.
Carbon monoxide.
About 2 months ago, the exhaust pipe for my water heater actually fell off on its own from being in such terrible condition. Luckily I was home, and heard it hit the floor. Otherwise it might have been days before I had noticed. For the next few weeks I kept thinking about how close my fiancé and I could have been to a serious tragedy. I'm not sure if a water heater even puts out enough CO to kill someone. But it doesn't matter, the situation itself scared the daylights out of me. And still does.
Sudden random ballistic missile alerts at 8:07 on a Saturday morning while you're tidying the kitchen.
At least you no longer had to tidy.
But there's poo on the floor now.
My mom has dementia. Prior to the onset, I probably would have answered this question with any number of hundreds of cliched answers. But the correct answer is dementia.
My grandpa has severe dementia. My grandma, his wife, recently died, and when he was at her funeral he said he didn't know whose funeral he was at. Edit. Well, this blew up. Thank you for all of your support.
The fact that our entire planet, all of human history, the billions of years of life as we know it, could be randomly blown out of existence by a rock flying aimlessly through space. And there's nothing we could do about it.
We just train a drilling team to be astronauts.
A flying rock we might see coming and could possibly do something about it before it hit. A gamma ray, URL redacted, watch. B equals 8 HVWNOSNBEE, could have the width of the solar system and come at us at the speed of light. So by the time we've seen it, it is already too late.
Space scares the shit out of me. And how much we don't know about the ocean, like. Anything could be down there.
I correlate your two. The ocean is extraordinarily vast and still largely unexplored. Then you start to realize the vastness of the universe. Fuck.
The FBI estimates there are anywhere between 25 to 50 active serial killers in the US at this very moment. It could be your coworker, your friend, your neighbor, your server, or that friendly older gentleman living by himself. You'll probably never know unless you fall under their victim type.
Worse than serial killers, the ones who have young women imprisoned in soundproof dungeons. Those women in Cleveland, years. Haunting.
People keep turning up dead in suitcases in South Jersey and the cops keep saying, no. It's not a serial killer. You have nothing to fear. We're up to like 4 now. Pretty sure it's a problem.
Rabies. Don't Google videos of people with rabies.
I won't.
Also, rabies has no cure. There is a vaccination, but if you don't get it in time or at all and it travels to your brain, which can take a few days, you will die. So if you get bitten by a strange animal, scrub the wound thoroughly and insist on a rabies shot. Honey, sit down. We need to talk. Nothing good comes after that. Nothing.
So you know how you said we'd wait until marriage to get a puppy? Yeah, I got 2. Meet Cinnamon and Sugar. They are your new sons. Ranch dressing soda.
Tell me this doesn't exist.
I'm URL redacted R pics comments 7QNSNA. They underscore seriously underscore crossed underscore the underscore line underscore here.
Oh honey, that's not even the half of URL redacted E3NKHZZ.
Drifting away from a space station with no way to get back.
Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do.
That's why you always keep a fire extinguisher on you. So when the clown lubed the hall and you slip and slide into space, you have a chance.
Well, at least you took your protein pills and put your helmet on.
Nuclear bombs.
It's interesting how we are living in an era where your entire city could be wiped off the face of the earth in an instant with very little, if any, warning. And we live with that knowledge every day without going insane.
Sleep paralysis is definitely up there. You can't move, but there's something in your room lurking about and your heart is racing and you can't process what's going on.
I find the best way to get out of sleep paralysis is to focus on accomplishing a very small movement like bending a toe or a finger. It is frustrating as fuck, but eventually it works.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and above all, have an excellent day, you incredible people.